When Donald Trump promises you something, he will deliver. To the Iranian people, President Trump has your back. Help will be on the way. I'm not going to say any more.
We said, protest, we're coming to the rescue. Well, that's what we Americans do when we can. And the president, I believe, in all my heart, is going to keep his word because that's what he does.
Welcome back, folks, and buckle up. We're diving headfirst into some of the wildest rhetoric coming out of Washington and the mainstream media. Today, we're dissecting the blatant push for war with Iran. And trust me, it's not for America's benefit. We're talking about the Israel First agenda and how it's affecting our foreign policy. Get ready to have your mind blown, or at least your common sense confirmed. Let's roll the tape.
Yeah, it's not about his cold, dark heart. They already know. That's Israel First coming out saying we're going to bomb Iran, and it looks like that is what they're going to do maybe as early as this weekend. Dropsite News has some news on that. But first, let me show you all the cucks of Israel. Ted Cruz said we should be arming the protesters in Iran now for the Iranian people to overthrow the Ayatollah, a tyrant who routinely chants death to America would make America much, much safer. What a joke. Bombing Iran is somehow magically going to make America safer? No, this war is 100% for Israel.
Hold on a second. Bombing Iran is going to make America safer? Are we living in some kind of twisted cartoon where violence magically solves all problems? This isn't a video game, folks. We're just not going to blow up the bad guys and suddenly everything's sunshine and rainbows. It's real people, real lives, and real consequences for our country. The idea that more war in the Middle East, funded by your tax dollars, will somehow bring stability or safety to Americans is just delusional. It's like saying you're going to fix your leaky roof by setting your entire house on fire. It might get rid of the leak, but you're going to have bigger problems, aren't you? The host nails it. This war is 100% for Israel. We've seen this playbook before many times. American blood and treasure sacrificed on the altar of another nation's security interests, while our own borders are wide open and our infrastructure crumbles. It's an absolute outrage, and anyone pushing this narrative needs to be called out for the dangerous warmonger they are. Plain and simple.
The idea that Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin and Ted Cruz care about Muslim protesters in the streets. There was tons of Muslim protesters against Israel in Gaza and the West Bank, and you kind of murdered them. Yeah. And you made us pay for murdering them. So they're such obvious liars. He doubled down to ABC News correspondent Selena Wang to Ted Cruz did. Senator Cruz tells me the US should arm Iranian protesters right now. If the protesters had the ability to fight back, I think it would change the outcome significantly. He said in the next 6 months, we could see the regime fall in Iran, in Venezuela, and in Cuba. So the neocons are celebrating, yes, Donald Trump, the warmonger neocon, just like he promised you on the campaign trail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you he was full of crap. So Mark Levin, meanwhile, used a tactic that seems specifically to get Trump's attention, okay? Let's watch.
Iran has interests far beyond its borders, and we are enemy number one. They've tried to assassinate our president 2 or 3 times, and they've threatened to kill our president in the last 3 weeks 5 times. Does that tick anybody off? Does that tick us off? It ticks me off. No regime should be able to threaten our president and still exist. The idea that if they kill our president, we will wipe them off the map, excuse me, they don't get to kill our president. That regime needs to be wiped off the map now. That's right, I said it. So let's start right there.
Wipe off the map? Seriously, Mark? Are we playing a game of Risk here? Or are we talking about real human lives and the geopolitical stability of an entire region? This kind of extreme, bloodthirsty rhetoric is not only irresponsible, it's terrifyingly dangerous. It's the kind of talk that drags us into endless, costly wars that benefit absolutely no one but the military-industrial complex and foreign interests. And let's not forget the blatant hypocrisy here. These same folks were throwing their hands up in the air about protesters in the streets of Iran, but then advocate for a policy that would undoubtedly wipe out those very same people. You can't claim to care about the Iranian people while simultaneously demanding their entire country be obliterated. It's a sick, twisted logic that only a neocon warmonger can conjure up. This isn't patriotism. It's a thinly veiled agenda. When people like Levine get this froth at the mouth, you know there's something else at play. It's not about American security when you're demanding the annihilation of a sovereign nation. It's about serving a different master. And anyone with eyes can see that.
All right. So, John, you want to weigh in on that one?
They don't get to kill our president. We're gonna kill all of them. Like
We get to kill their president.
it seems like we just took out the Maduro. Like it kind of seems like that's the flavor of the day, Mark Levin. Why are you freaking out so much?
So, and by the way, he loved when they killed the leader of Hezbollah, they killed the leader of Hamas, they deposed the leader of Syria. There's nothing that Mark Levin likes more than murdering the leaders of other countries and organizations, as long as you're doing for Israel. And in fact, he says it in this case: we're gonna wipe them off the map, murder them all. I'm worried about the protesters, and their lives. Oh, are you, Mark? Are you? And he's like, oh, we would never threaten the president. Today, we found out in the Epstein files that they're saying that Trump was co-opted by Israel. Now, that doesn't mean that it's true. It's just an allegation in the files. But no, Israel would never threaten a president. By the way, Israel also threatened Bill Clinton. Apparently, they knew about the Monica. This is a well-known fact now, public fact. They knew about the Monica Lewinsky affair before it was public, and they threatened Clinton with it. That is amazing. I mean, by the way, that is a remarkable story.
That's what allies do.
Yeah. Imagine Canada's like, oh, we got Clinton. Okay, let's go. We're taking North Dakota. Okay. Or whatever they want. But the press is like, I don't see it. I don't see anything. I don't see Israel at all. I can't see Israel. Where's Israel, right? So anyway, so they're all agitating towards war. And by the way, that whole thing of Iran trying to kill Trump, I always thought that was the most absurd, ludicrous thing I'd ever heard. There's these two random white guys having nothing to do with Iran. They just keep saying, oh, it was Iran, and never have any evidence. I found out recently that Israel might be using Iranian agitators here to try to cause chaos and then blame it on Iran. So so Mark Levin and the Israel First might know something about Iranians here, but not on the side you think they're on, okay? And so that is a very weird, disturbing thing to talk about. Hey, there's Iranian assassins in the country. Whose side are they on? Like, that's insane. There's no, all right, anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked in that because we now have, I'll get back to John Bolton, I'll get back to how much these guys work for Israel, but pretty clear indication from Drop Site News that the bombing might happen as early as this weekend, which to me makes sense. I'll tell you why in a second, but first, they're reporting. Senior US military officials have informed the leadership of a key US ally in the Middle East that the President Donald Trump could authorize a US attack on Iran this weekend. Multiple sources have confirmed to Drop Site News strikes could commence as early as Sunday. The ally was informed if the US decides to move forward. And here's what I'm telling you, they are going to move forward. Now, why do I say that so confidently? Number one, we've moved an entire armada, as Trump refers to it, into the area. We don't normally do that for no reason. The last time we did it was Venezuela, and we saw what happened there. And so number two, we are not currently in negotiations with Iran. So Trump is saying, well, if they don't give us what we want in the negotiations, we're gonna bomb them. But we're not in negotiations with them. So that means we're definitely gonna bomb them. And so Lindsey Graham is saying, oh, help is coming soon, wink, is not subtle. He's just saying, I know already, we're gonna attack Iran.
Yeah.
So I've got more, but John, what do you think?
Yeah, I only really have 2 points I want to add, because I've been talking about this for so long, because I've been expecting this to begin. One, when he's like, Donald Trump cares about the protesters there. Donald Trump in an interview said that if Iran assassinated him, there are orders to the military to destroy the entire country, which would presumably include all of those innocent protesters. So I don't actually believe that. And my prediction, this is a wild prediction, I don't think it's gonna start on Sunday. I think it's gonna start before then, because one of the patterns that I've noticed, that I know a lot of people have, is that the Trump administration is clearly gaming the prediction markets to personally profit off of everything that happens in the news. And so if they know it's gonna happen on Friday night or Saturday night, then they get in their bets, and what do they need to do? They need to pump it up, make sure that they're the ones that win. So you leak this story that it's happening on Sunday. Lots of people invest money into it on the wrong day, and then your bet pays off even more. They've been doing it on all sorts of stuff. Again, don't bet your money based on anything I say, but my prediction would be that it happens before Sunday.
Okay, so why do I say Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz speak for Israel? Number one, they say it all the time. Ted Cruz says that he literally went into the Senate to serve Israel, which is an outrageous thing to say, and also a bizarre thing to say.
Okay, I have to stop it right there, because did you hear that? One of our own senators saying, I went into the Senate to serve Israel? Let me tell you, if I heard my local city councilman say to me he went to office to serve, let's say, Belgium, I would demand his resignation on the spot. This isn't just bizarre, it's a betrayal of every American who voted for him, expecting him to represent our interests, not some foreign nations. This is the core of the problem, folks. We have politicians supposedly representing us, only admitting their primary alliances elsewhere. It's not just Ted Cruz. It's a systemic issue fueled by the millions of dollars from foreign lobbyists that infiltrate our political system. They buy loyalty, and they get it at the expense of the American lives and the American prosperity. Imagine the uproar if a politician said they started in the Senate or the House of Representatives to serve China or Russia. The media would be in a frenzy. But when it's Israel, it's just, it's just Ted. That's just Ted. No, that's a direct admission of foreign influence in a clear, crystal clear conflict of interest. Our senators, especially Ted Cruz, should be serving Texas, where he was elected, and he should also serve America, period. Anything less is a slap in the face and dereliction of duty to every single American, every single one of us. This pisses me off more than I could ever explain.
Imagine if the senator from Texas was like, I went into the Senate to serve Paraguay. You'd be like, why? What a weird thing to do, right? So, okay, let's show you AIPAC tracker, Lindsey Graham, $1 million, but these are the bare minimum numbers. It doesn't count the super PACs where most of the money goes. Ted Cruz, $1.8 million, really 1.9. And again, that's a drop in the bucket for what they really want. So then, of course, it's not just politicians, it's the media. They're like, rah, war. Now, wait a minute, why do I say that? Are they really saying it? Well, Politico had an interesting article today about polling of Trump's voters, of the country, but also of Trump voters in regards to war. And I saw the polling, and it looks pretty bad for Trump. The headline was, Trump's base wants to go to war, loves war. I'm like, what? That's not what the polling says at all, at all. And throughout the entire article, they're like, you see, this proves it, this proves it. Now, let me give you the numbers. They say about 50% of Trump voters backed military intervention in Iran, the most of any foreign target. That number rose to 61% of respondents who described themselves as MAGA Republican Trump supporters. Now, wait a minute, there's two ways to look at that, John. So you could say, oh, wow, even though he ran as an anti-war guy, 50% of his voters still say, go to war with Iran. I mean, that's a hypocrisy and an interesting point. No problem with pointing that out. The other way to look at it is, holy cow, half of Trump's voters go, even though I voted for Trump, I totally disagree with him on going to war with Iran. Sure. That is a giant number.
And they're being propagandized to support it.
Yeah.
And still, yeah, I think both views are totally legitimate.
Yeah, and so if you wrote a nuanced article and saying both of those things, or if you said, hey, wow, half of Trump's voters say Trump is wrong about attacking Iran, that's a good headline. That's a big headline. The entire article on Politico is about rah, MAGA wants this war so bad. That's not what the numbers say at all. And so they want it so bad as 95%, 90%, 85%. Yeah. Not half of your own voters saying no, not the whole country, your own voters. So, and then look at how they frame things. 65% of Trump voters support the US taking military action against at least one of several potential target countries, including Iran, Greenland, Cuba, Colombia, China, and Mexico. And so now they piled all those up together. They're like, they really, if you look at the numbers, they don't want war. So why don't we add them all together so we can do the headline of, Republicans want war, the voters want war. No, they don't. No, they don't. So Now, of the ones that do want it, John, it is absolutely absurd. I'll get to that in a second. But if you're tired of our country serving Israel, operationconsequences.com, okay? So that's our URL where we're just asking you guys, make a pledge. You want to make it in your mind and not sign it, or you want to sign someone else's pledge, I don't care. But the most important thing is, if they give $1 more to Israel going forward, just vote against them in your own primary, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. Vote against them. Why are we funding these insane wars and this genocide? We would never do it for any other country, and everyone knows it. So it's mental. And if you take money from the Israeli lobby, obviously you're raising your hand and saying, I am representing them and not you.
And there you have it, folks. We've peeled back the layers on the relentless push for war, the shocking rhetoric, and the undeniable influence of foreign interests in our own government. It's clear as day. The Israel First agenda is real, and it's costing us dearly. So tell me, if you are fed up as much as I am with this country being dragged into endless wars for other nations' benefit, then you need to stand up. Vote against any politician, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, who takes a single dollar from the Israeli lobbyists and continues to fund these insane wars and genocides. It's time to put America first, for once. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay vigilant, patriots. Stay vigilant.